to my journey, my frugal journey. Today we're canning. This is not from the garden. This is from my freezer. I have cranberries that I bought last fall when you can get them at a really good price. And I popped them in the freezer for whatever I felt like making. Well, I've never made anything, and I was looking through my Bible book, what can you do with cranberries? Well, they had a lot of things, but they had a cranberry sauce recipe that does not take pectin. It's just sugar and water and cranberries. That takes me back to the old days. We didn't use pectin except for jelly. When we juiced our fruits to make jelly, we used pectin. When we used when we made jam, we used fruit and sugar. That's how we made it. I remember one year my damson plum preserves didn't set up. And so I used it. I said, well, I'm not going to waste it. I used it for barbecue sauce. David's hands down favorite barbecue sauce. It's on my website. He's like, whew, you can't be buying the other stuff. Well, you know, I buy it because there's not a big market for damson plums. My brother planted a tree for me, but it's not putting on a whole lot yet. He gives me some each year, and I'll pop them in the fridge. I'm waiting for a good size to make my jam. And if it sets up, it does. If it don't, it don't, because it makes good barbecue sauce. That's how I feel about this cranberry, which it was thick. So, I mean, it was juicy, but getting thick there at the end. So I think it's going to set up. But if it don't, if it's runny, it's going to make good barbecue sauce. It's going to do that Russian chicken, weird but good chicken. That's what we call it, weird but good. Because when we found it, we're like, that is weird, but it's good. It's like cranberry sauce and cayenne dressing and dry onion soup mix. Pour it over your chicken and cook it in the crock pot. So we can do that. There's all kinds of things. You can just pour it over your chicken like a sauce. You can thicken it on the stove if you want to. That's if it don't set up, but I feel like it's going to. So anyway, that's what we're doing today. And the next one, I don't know what day I'll get to it. I have a bunch of blueberries that I was gifted, and I froze them, and I want to make some blueberry jam. And Holly's like, yes. So I'll be doing that, but I need pectin for that. I'll follow the pectin rule, the pectin recipe on the box. So that's it. Let's just turn around and make some good old cranberry sauce. Listen, we're having Thanksgiving here in July. Some people do Christmas in July. We're doing Thanksgiving in July. All right, so here we are again with a big bunch of things in a little spot. So first, cross your fingers, this pot is big enough. I need 4 cups of sugar. No, 6 cups of sugar. Now, the single recipe is 2.5 pounds of cranberries, 4 cups of sugar, and 4 cups of water. I'm adjusting for 4 pounds of berries. So you can do the single recipe if you like, but I'm going to adjust it. So I need 6 cups of sugar and 6 cups of water. We are going to stir this. We're going to bring it up to the boil. Oh yeah, I think I'm going to have room. And then we're going to let it boil for 5 minutes. And you want your cranberries to be washed, picked over, and drained. So I have mine sitting over here in this big drainer that I found at the international market when me and Holly went. I said, oh, I'm going to need that for canning. And I do. So I'll be back when it's time to add the cranberries. Our syrup has been boiling for 5 minutes. Now we need to add our cranberries. And I don't think I mentioned that these were frozen, and I thawed them. I'm afraid to pick up this whole big basket. I'm going to lose some. If you see any bad spots, or like sometimes the little black stem part, or leafy thing, I'm not sure what it is. Now I'll do this. Okay, all I'm going to do is push them down in here, because it says to, without stirring, boil them until the skins Okay, I'm guessing maybe the reason, and my pot is just about not big enough, they don't want you to stir it is because you get this foam to skim, because the recipe doesn't say anything about skimming foam. But my top berries were not going down in the liquid and not popping. I could hear the ones on the bottom just popping away. The ones on the top, not so much. So I didn't stir it. I just pressed them down in there. And then when it started bubbling up real big, that's when I got this foam. So I'm just going to skim it off like I would any other. Now, I don't know how you're supposed to know it's ready if you don't stir it up and look. I don't understand that part, because if you want them all popped, then you've got to stir down in there and check. See, you can see they're not all popped. So they got to keep going. I'm not hearing any more popping. So I'm guessing it's ready. Turn the heat off. Do a little bit more skimming, and then we will jar these up. Alright, this stuff is so hot, I'm going to do 3 instead of my usual 2. So I need a 1/2 inch. Where's my 1/2 inch? Right there. So about that bottom rim, just about the end of bottom of that. Oh gosh, this is lovely. This is lovely. Let me check that. Was it that one? Ooh, just a little bitty hair more. Okay. Let's wipe them down. No, let's bubble them up first. Okay, we'll get our hot lids. All right, let me continue on. Now you want the water bath candle, and I'm using my electric one because it's just so much easier than, and all I have to do is hit this button because I've already set it to 15, and it's just going to do all the work for me. I only got 7.5 jars. The other half I just put in the jar to pop in the fridge and let it set up in there. The original one recipe said it made 6 pints. Well, I upped it by 1.5 pounds and only got 7.5, so that recipe is just way wrong. That's all I know. Way wrong. So it's just one of those things. I guess it just happens that way. And that was out of the ball book, so I don't know. Well, I'm going to let this do its thing, and I'll come back at the end and show you. Okay, ignore the TV. I ended up with my 7.5, like I said. But isn't that pretty? You can't tell what I'm watching. So anyway, I'm going to cover these up and see if they'll pop for me. That is all for this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you when I see you.